Africa. Africa is widely considered the cradle of humankind. Fossil discoveries in places like Ethiopia and Kenya suggest that early humans evolved here more than 200,000 years ago before spreading across the rest of the planet. Today, Africa is the second largest continent on Earth and home to around 1.4 billion people. These people live in 54 recognized countries, which makes Africa the continent with the most nations. Nigeria is the most populous country and one of the continent's largest economic powers, while Algeria is the largest country by land area. Geographically, Africa is extremely diverse. The Sahara Desert dominates the northern part of the continent and is the largest hot desert on Earth. South of it lies the vast Sahel region and the famous savannas of East Africa, where wildlife such as lions, elephants, and giraffes roam. Central Africa contains enormous tropical rainforests, including the Congo Basin, which is the second largest rainforest in the world after the Amazon. Africa also has impressive mountains and natural landmarks. Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania rises to 5,895 meters and is the highest mountain on the continent. The Nile River, often considered the longest river in the world, flows more than 6,600 kilometers through northeastern Africa before reaching the Mediterranean Sea. Africa also has the youngest population of any continent, with a median age under 20 years in many countries. Culturally, Africa is one of the most diverse places on Earth, with thousands of languages and countless ethnic groups, each with their own traditions, music, and art. Economically, many African nations rely on natural resources, agriculture, and expanding urban industries. Countries such as South Africa, Nigeria, Egypt, and Kenya serve as important economic centers, and many cities across the continent are growing rapidly. Europe may be smaller in size compared to other continents, but its historical and cultural influence has been enormous. The continent consists of about 44 countries and has a population of roughly 450 million people. Some of the most influential nations include Germany, France, the United Kingdom, and Italy, which have shaped global politics, science, and culture for centuries. Europe's geography varies greatly despite its relatively compact size. The continent stretches from the cold northern landscapes of Scandinavia to the warm Mediterranean coastlines of southern Europe. One of the most famous mountain ranges is the Alps, which run across several countries, including France, Switzerland, Austria, and Italy. The highest mountain in the Alps is Mont Blanc, which rises to about 4,809 meters. Large rivers such as the Danube and the Rhine have historically served as major trade routes and helped shape European cities and economies. Europe is known for its dense network of historic cities, castles, and cultural landmarks. Many major developments in philosophy, science, art, and political systems originated here during periods such as the Renaissance and the Enlightenment. Economically, Europe is one of the most developed regions of the world. The European Union forms one of the largest economic blocs on the planet and enables strong trade connections between many European countries. Cities such as London, Paris, Berlin, and Amsterdam remain global hubs for finance, culture, and technology. Asia is the largest and most populous continent on Earth. It covers about 30% of the world's land area and is home to roughly 4.7 billion people, which means nearly 60% of humanity lives here. Asia contains around 49 countries, including major global powers such as China, India, Japan, and South Korea. The geography of Asia is extremely varied and includes some of the most dramatic landscapes on the planet. The Himalayas form the highest mountain range in the world and contain Mount Everest, which rises to 8,848 meters above sea level as the tallest mountain on Earth. Asia also contains massive deserts such as the Arabian Desert and the Gobi Desert, while Southeast Asia features dense tropical rainforests and thousands of islands. The largest metropolitan area in the world is Tokyo, which forms a massive urban region with more than 35 million people. Other huge cities include Delhi, Shanghai, and Jakarta. Many of the world's oldest civilizations began in Asia, including ancient cultures in China, India, and Mesopotamia. Asia is also the birthplace of many major religions, such as Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity. The continent's cultures are extremely diverse, with hundreds of languages, traditions, and societies. Economically, Asia contains both highly developed economies and rapidly growing emerging markets. Countries such as Japan, South Korea, and Singapore are among the most technologically advanced societies in the world, while China and India have experienced enormous economic growth in recent decades, turning Asia into a central hub for global manufacturing trade and technological development. Antarctic. Antarctic is the most remote and extreme continent on Earth, and it surrounds the South Pole. It is the coldest, driest, and windiest continent on the planet. Unlike the other continents, Antarctic has no permanent population and no independent countries. Instead, it is governed by international agreements known as the Antarctic Treaty System. During the harsh winter months, only about 1,000 scientists and support staff remain on the continent at research stations. In the summer, this number increases to around 4,000 to 5,000 people as scientific research expands. Nearly the entire continent is covered by a massive ice sheet that averages more than 2 kilometers in thickness. This ice contains around 70% of the world's fresh water. If all the ice in Antarctic melted, global sea levels would rise dramatically. The continent's highest mountain is Mount Vinson, which reaches 4,892 meters above sea level. Antarctic has no cities, no permanent towns, and no traditional economy. However, it is one of the most important places on Earth for scientific research. Scientists study climate change and other important things there. Because of this, Antarctic is protected as a natural reserve dedicated to peace science and international cooperation. Australia. Australia is unique because it is both a country and a continent. It is the smallest continent but still the 6th largest country in the world by land area. Around 27 million people live in Australia, which makes it the least populated inhabited continent. Most of the population lives along the coastal regions, especially along the eastern and southeastern coasts. The largest city is Sydney. Australia's interior is dominated by the outback, which is a vast region of deserts and semi-arid landscapes. Despite the harsh conditions, the continent contains unique ecosystems and wildlife that exist almost nowhere else on Earth. Animals such as kangaroos, koalas, and wombats are famous examples of species that developed in isolation on the continent. The Great Barrier Reef, located off the northeastern coast of Australia, is the largest coral reef system in the world and one of the most biologically diverse marine ecosystems on Earth. In addition, the continent consists of many islands such as New Zealand, but also small islands like Fiji. Culturally, Australia blends one of the oldest continuous indigenous cultures in the world, with a modern multicultural society shaped by immigration from Europe, Asia, and many other regions. Economically, Australia is one of the most developed continents with strong industries in mining, agriculture, tourism, and services. North America. North America consists of 23 countries and has a population of roughly 600 million people. The United States is the largest economy and one of the most powerful countries in the world, while Canada is the second largest country on Earth by land area. Mexico is another major nation with a large population and a rapidly developing economy. The geography of North America is extremely diverse. The Rocky Mountains stretch from Canada through the United States and into Mexico, forming one of the longest mountain systems in the world. The highest mountain on the continent is Denali in Alaska, which rises to 6,190 meters. North America also contains vast plains, dense forests, deserts, and enormous freshwater systems such as the Great Lakes, which together form the largest group of freshwater lakes in the world. One of the largest metropolitan areas on the continent is New York City. Other major cities include Los Angeles, Mexico City, and Toronto, which play major roles in global finance, technology, entertainment, and trade. Culturally, North America has been shaped by indigenous civilizations, as well as centuries of immigration from Europe, Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Economically, the continent remains one of the most powerful regions on Earth, with leading industries in technology, finance, manufacturing, media, and innovation. South America. South America is home to 12 countries and around 430 million people. Brazil is both the largest and most populous nation, and also the continent's largest economy. Spanish and Portuguese are the dominant languages spoken across most of the region. The continent is famous for its dramatic natural landscapes, The Amazon rainforest stretches across multiple countries and is the largest rainforest on Earth. It contains an extraordinary level of biodiversity and plays a major role in regulating the global climate. Running along the western edge of the continent are the Andes Mountains, which are the longest continental mountain range in the world. The highest peak in the Andes is Aconcagua in Argentina, which reaches 6,961 meters above sea level. The largest city in South America is Sao Paulo in Brazil, which is a massive metropolitan region and a major economic and financial center. South American culture is a rich mixture of indigenous traditions and influences from Europe and Africa. Music, dance, and festivals play a central role in everyday life across the continent. Economically, many countries rely on agriculture, mining, energy production, and expanding industrial sectors, which makes South America an important supplier of natural resources to the global economy. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and write in the comments which continent you live on. See you next time.